Welcome back to the channel. Glad you could join me. I wanted to talk about Hawk and Fisher today. If you've been on the channel before, you've seen my other videos, you know that I am a fan of Simon Green. This book, I'm trying to remember back to when I first started reading Simon Green. I'm thinking that this may have been the first Simon Green book I read, but it could have been. There's another series of books, the Magic Forest, Enchanted Forest. I don't remember off the top of my head. That happens in the same world as Hawk and Fisher. But it isn't the Hawk and Fisher series. They are connected. There are connections between the two series. But anyway, this may have been the book that got me into reading Simon Green. One thing that I very much like about Simon Green is the way that he takes two genres and blends them together. Hawk and Fisher, they are city guards for the city of Haven. Hawk, missing an eye, carries a battle axe. His wife, Fisher, is a swordswoman, tall, blonde. Anyway, they, as I said, they're guards. And they're tasked with keeping the peace, investigating crimes, etc. But it's set in a fantasy world, so it's got that kind of hard-boiled detective feel, plus like cop drama, and it's got magic. They're investigating monsters. All sorts of things. Are kind of jumbled up in the novel. It starts out with Hawk and Fisher. They've been investigating a child prostitution ring, and they are removed from that case to hunt down a vampire, a supposed vampire. They're not sure if it's a vampire or not. They're just supposed to go hunt it down. They do track the disturbances to a specific house. They go in and they do indeed find a vampire, and they are able to kill it with difficulty. It's not something that they accomplish easily. I mean, it is a vampire. Later, they are assigned to be the bodyguard of a city councilman. He is running on making reforms to the city, and he was elected on the strength of his conviction and his desire to bring about change for Haven. Haven is very much as Obi-Wan Kenobi put it, a hive of scum and villainy. And this particular councilman needs protection because he is trying very hard to root out the corruption that is very deep-seated in Haven. To that end, he is celebrating with friends his 1-year anniversary in office. Hawk and Fisher are there at the celebration to provide protection for the councilman. And they are having this party at the Sorcerer Gaunt, at his house. the sorcerers in the Hawk and Fisher world never go by their real name. They always go by a pseudonym, something that usually has something to do with their magical abilities, or in the case of Gaunt, he is very thin and cadaverous looking, and so he goes by Gaunt. Anyway, they go to this party. They are introduced to the cast of characters. There's a General Hightower and his wife, the wife of the councilman. There is a witch that is there to be magical, provide magical protection for the councilman. Obviously, the sorcerer Gaunt as well. There is, I know there's one other character who happens to be a local hero. And there is, and there may be more characters, but I don't recall off the top of my head. Anyway, they sit down to enjoy the evening, and as they start this party, the sorcerer Gaunt, to protect the counselor and to make it so that their festivities can be uninterrupted, he activates a spell that basically puts the house inside of a pocket dimension, so that no one can disturb them. It is in this setting that the counselor is killed, and so this book then becomes a locked room mystery. Not only is the room in which the counselor was murdered locked, but the house is isolated from reality, so that attackers from the outside cannot get into the house. It is severed from reality. And you would have to know where in the magical realm the house is in order to try to effect an entrance, which is nearly impossible. So Hawk and Fisher are then inside this house that's isolated from reality, trying to figure out who of the guests that are there murdered the councilman, who had the opportunity, who was able to do it, what means did they use to affect his death. Why would one of these people who is supposedly really close to the councilman, why would they bother to kill him? They're supposedly supporters of his. They're supposedly supporters of his reform efforts. So why would any of them have a motive to do him harm? Anyway, that being said, I very much enjoyed Hawk and Fisher, and it got me into reading more of Simon Green's novels. In looking for information on, well, not just information on the book, but I was looking for... So I didn't actually buy Hawk and Fisher. I bought an anthology set. So it was the first 3 books put together, and then the second 3. So there's 6 in total. So I bought the 2, and so I didn't remember which books were inside of the ones that I bought and which order they came in. So in looking for that, I did come across some more information on this particular book. And I do admit that there is some justification behind some of the criticisms that I was reading. One thing that somebody commented on was that he felt that the writing wasn't that great. I don't see that myself. I felt that the writing did work well. and it did convey what it was supposed to convey, and yeah, I had no problem with it. Another criticism was that there's a certain amount of sameness in Simon Green's novels, and yes, I do see that, and I myself have thought about how close Edwin Drood and John Taylor from the Secret Histories and the Nightside series are to each other as protagonists. Another criticism was that that one person felt that the characters were not fleshed out very well. I don't know. I thought that they were fine. Another person that I read, they thought that the characters were developed well. So again, a lot of times it comes down to personal preference. I liked this particular book, very much enjoyed it, very much enjoyed the rest of the Hawk and Fisher series, and it could be that, you know, this was the first Hawk and Fisher novel, and so maybe some of the criticisms are valid in and of themselves, and as Simon Green delved further into the characters and the setting, that it progressed to such a degree that there was more character development as it went along. Anyway, I don't know how I don't know how much more to say in this situation, because, like I said, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Hawk and Fisher. I liked the mashup between kind of the cop procedural and the detective noir and the fantasy setting. And if you like those kind of things, you probably will like Hawk and Fisher. But again, that's an opinion, and if you don't like Hawk and Fisher, hey, let me know. Let me know why. Let me know what you thought of this if you've read the book. Anyway, that's it for today. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. Like, subscribe, etc., etc. And until next time, enjoy what you're reading.